How funny would it be if you got an ad for Artlist on this video? It probably happened too. It probably did. They just kind of pound the advertising until it's seared into your brain. If you're a creator, you know what I'm talking about. If you're a video creator and you're ever on YouTube, odds are you've heard of the company Artlist. Artlist is royalty-free, or well, I guess not really royalty-free since you're paying for a subscription, but it's a sound and music service for video creators or social media creators, anything of the sort. A lot like Epidemic Sound, that seems to be their biggest competitor in the space. Now, I did a video on Epidemic Sound, you can check it out up there. But after that video, I wanted to see what the differences were between that and Artlist, and since my free trial of Epidemic Sound has run out, I figured I'd give Artlist a shot. That being said, I've made a couple videos with Artlist music in them, and now I wanted to give my sort of little comprehensive review or guidance to anybody looking at getting into a paid subscription service for music for their videos. First, I want to tackle the biggest thing on most creators' minds, which is the pricing. And you might see that Artlist, they actually don't have a free trial. So how did I do this? Well, I didn't pay to try it out, actually. The film company that I'm interning at has the subscription already, so I was able to use that and just try it out, and especially in the videos that I'm making for them, it allowed me to get used to Artlist and really see what it was all about. That's a big upside that Epidemic Sound has on Artlist, is you can actually try it out. But for you guys, you're just gonna have to take my word on Artlist unless you want to spend at least $16, which is their lowest rate for a month of Artlist. And even at that $16, it's still more expensive than their leading competitor, Epidemic Sound. Epidemic Sound is $15 a month for personal use, which would be individual content creators on YouTube, and that also comes with sound effects, whereas the cheapest Artlist only comes with music. However, the cheapest Artlist subscription is also commercial, which is where you get into some funky things there, because it would be better and cheaper for you as a company to use Artlist for commercial things, because it is $25 a month for the music and sound effects for commercial, whereas if you're doing that on Epidemic Sound, it's something like $60 a month. So it all depends on what you're using the service for, whether it's personal use like me or company use. But in the end, that's the breakdown of the pricing, and if you want any more details on that, you can go check out their website. I want to get into the stuff that you really came here for, which is my opinion on the service itself. And obviously, if you're going to have an opinion on something, you need to base it off of another thing you've experienced. So some of my things, some of my explanations, or my contrast, my comparation, that is not a word. But some of the things that I'm going to compare in Artlist are going to be compared to Epidemic Sound, because that's the only other service I've had experience with. But right off the bat, let's get into the interface. Now, for a while, Artlist had the simplest interface. There's a bunch of things that you can search by, whether it be mood, type of the video, tempo, instruments, all sorts of stuff on the sidebar, and then you can tick them off up top, and it's just kind of a filter result. And it took a while for Epidemic Sound and the other sound services to catch up to that, but now Epidemic Sound is much more smooth the way that Artlist is, so I'd put them both kind of tied together. They're both very simple, but there's one thing in the interface that sticks out to me on Artlist that is very weird and kind of stilted, and if I didn't have somebody at the company show me how to do this, I would have no idea how to figure out how to download the actual music. Definitely not the thing that you want to not know how to do, right? Well, it's kind of complicated, or I feel like it's way overly complicated. Once you hit a song that you want to download in Artlist, it sends it to your email address, like a link to your email address, so you can go through that way. But especially me working on the company's account, I didn't have access to that email address, so I had no idea how to do it. But there's also another little backdoor that you have to go through, and it's kind of like in weird fine print when they show you where you can do it, but you have to go into your library and then click on like recently downloaded stuff, and then you can find it and download it just from the website, which seems way overly complicated, because on something like Epidemic Sound, you literally hit download and it gives you a zip file immediately right onto that computer. I don't know why there's the extra steps in there, and it seems strange. But now that we've gone over the actual layout of the websites, that's not really the most important part, right? The most important part is the amount of songs or sound effects they actually have on them. And Artlist, from what I remember, I think it's something like 6,000 or 8,000 different songs, which of course seems like a ton, but then again, you go over to Epidemic Sound, they've got over 30,000 different songs, and I think it's like 65,000 sound effects. So Epidemic Sound has way more stuff than Artlist. And when you look at the price comparisons there, it's like cheaper and more stuff, or more expensive and less stuff. But quantity is not everything, and well, you gotta look at quality as well. And Epidemic Sound, I've used it for a long time, has really good quality, but we're focusing on Artlist today. So what have I found as far as Artlist music goes? It's good. It sounds good. It doesn't sound exponentially better than anything I found on Epidemic Sound, but it's definitely good stuff. The only problem is with Artlist, you can't break the songs up into different stems the way that you can on Epidemic Sound. See, with Artlist, when you download a song, you download the whole song. And if you've got a great sounding song with everything good, the bass is good, the instruments are good, the drums are good, and they've got a really annoying voice line in there, the really annoying like vocalization somewhere, you can't cut that out. In Epidemic Sound, you can cut that out, keep just the drums or whatever the heck you want to do, but you don't have that flexibility in Artlist. It's not there. And that's the biggest thing that I miss in Artlist, is the flexibility that having the different stems on other services gives you. Artlist is just straightforward, you get what you get. What is that? What the heck is going on out there? Alright, that should be it. It's only been a couple of minutes and I think they're done. It might start up again, and I don't know. But we were just talking about the actual quality of the music, right? So Artlist versus Epidemic Sound versus whatever the other ones are out there, you're not gonna see a huge discrepancy. The biggest problem there is just the fact that Artlist can't break songs down into different stems. And that's gonna be the main talking point in my conclusion here. I wanna keep this super brief, because I know you don't have a ton of time, I don't have a ton of time, and it's music, right? It should be simple. You wanna go online, grab a song, throw it into your edit, and be happy with it, and not spend hours looking for the proper song. And every single subscription service that you get is going to do that. Artlist does it well, Epidemic Sound does it well, but you need to look at the base facts. Artlist, a little bit more expensive. Epidemic Sound, $15 a month for music and sound effects. Artlist, $25 a month for music and sound effects. If you want to stick with just music, it's $16 a month, but you're losing all those sound effects. So much better value on the side of Epidemic Sound. And let me remind you, none of this is sponsored. It sure as heck isn't sponsored by Epidemic Sound, but if you are a creator, a YouTube creator, Instagram creator, anybody who wants royalty-free music in their videos, Epidemic Sound is the clear winner, at least in my opinion. My differing opinion comes in when you're talking about companies like Clockwork 9 that I'm interning at right now. It makes way more sense for them to do Artlist because it's much cheaper. You're talking $60 a month sound effects and music from Epidemic Sound if you're using it with their commercial license, versus $25 sound effects and music on Artlist per month. So there's a big discrepancy there, especially as a company. If you're pumping out commercial things, Epidemic Sound is over double what Artlist is offering. But here's the thing. The majority of you people watching this, I'd say 99.9% of you people watching this are personal creators making content for YouTube, socials, whatever. You're not making professional videos, you're not getting paid from companies to make ads, you're not doing any of that commercial stuff. So what does Artlist have to offer you? Nothing. Nothing. They really need to step that up. For Artlist, it would be as simple as reducing their monthly price, as with a creator license, right? Not a commercial license, but reducing their creator license to $10 a month. And that would get me away from Epidemic Sound's $15, because I really only care about music, and well, I could deal with not splitting things up for an extra $5 a month. They don't have that. They don't have that to offer. It's still way more expensive, but you're getting less. So don't let the ads fool you. And I might not ever get an ad from Artlist thrown on my video again. They might blacklist me for this video, but I do not care. It's not a good deal, at least right now. They can always change it, and I really hope they do, but as for now, Epidemic Sound is still the king, at least in my opinion. Don't sue me.